going according to my plan.
Your plan? Did you orchestrate this whole mess of a season starting before game 1 this season or something?
I love it when a plan comes together.
Got any other pop culture references you want to make before I start this fan reaction video?
Rolling, keep that tackle rolling.
You ever just want to get down on one knee and thank the hockey gods upstairs that Phil Forsberg is a Nashville Predator?
Hey everybody, it's Jersey Guy.
Hold my beer.
Are you sure you want me here? Hat trick watch anybody? Is it really somewhere that we owe a massive debt to the hockey gods?
Again and again and again.
You're the kid again, Johnny.
Is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening?
This isn't an ad for some dang cookie. I want a piece of that action. Well, you don't have to tell me twice.
What do you have to tell me that is going to make me feel positive? And
Maybe the Titans won't let us down on Thursday.
Prince, walk it off!
Okay, on with Johnny's reaction video.
Redemption take you home.
Preds lose 3-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights Saturday evening inside Bridgestone Arena. Another game this year where the Preds score just one goal, don't register more than double digits in shots in a single period of this game. True to form for this aggravating team. Thank God, only 9 games left to go in this cluster bleep of a season. Something positive to start off with, as news broke this morning that the Preds had signed their college prospect, Matthew Wood, to a 3-year entry-level deal. Matthew Wood, out of the University of Minnesota, was drafted 15th overall in a 2023 NHL draft by the Preds and had recorded 17 goals and 22 assists this season for his team. Matthew Wood signed as soon as Minnesota was eliminated from the NCAA playoffs. So you have to assume going into next year that he'll either start the year with Milwaukee, or if he's really good out of camp, he can probably snag a spot on the pro team. As for the game, I was a little shocked to realize at puck drop that this is the last Saturday night game for the Preds this season. They have one more Saturday night game in April, but that's in Vegas. Despite being out there for practice, Ilya Samsonov was a late scratch, so the Preds got Adin Hill, who already played in Chicago for Vegas on Friday night. Now, if the Preds were a half-decent team, they would have taken advantage of playing Vegas on the second half of a back-to-back with the same goalie in both games, but obviously not with this team this year. I will give the Preds credit. Pretty even game. They kept up with Vegas through the first bit, and this included the first 8 minutes of the first period. Justice Annunen, who got the start for the Preds, makes a great save with a Vegas 2-on-1 when there was a breakdown of the Preds defense. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the first. Preds with a good session in the Vegas zone, but can't get a good enough scoring chance to open the scoring there. Then there's a puck battle behind the net, and you hate to see that. Colton Sissons falls awkwardly and is forced to be helped off, favoring his ankle. He eventually would not return for this game, and much like Yossi, if it's anything questionable, don't force it. Just rehab and shut it down for the season. But hopefully, that's the worst of it, and Colton will be able to return by training camp, much less if it's just a little shake-up and he returns this season. But don't force it if you don't have to. Uneventful first period as a whole, scoreless after 20 minutes. Many in Preds Nation are just hoping that fan favorite and maybe future Preds head coach Colton Sissons is okay. Preds have a good session to start the second period, adjusting to their shortened bench thanks to Colton Sissons' injury. Almost 6 minutes into the period, Preds, fresh off of a power play called with a penalty on Vegas, and right off the faceoff, Nick Blankenberg gets the puck and winds up for a shot that's tipped in by the factor Ryan O'Reilly, and the Preds take that early 1-0 lead. Philip Forsberg would record a secondary assist on that Ryan O'Reilly goal, and by doing so, that moves him into sole position of second place all-time in franchise history for assists. But 2.5 minutes later, Vegas off the rush, some pretty passing, puck winds up on Jack Eichel's stick. I bet Buffalo's really missing not letting him get that surgery now that he wanted. And Eichel, he looks good to go for when Vegas makes the playoffs in a couple weeks here. Vegas ties this game at 1. About 8.5 minutes left to go in the second period. Play in the Vegas zone. Shots from everywhere. Vegas can't clear the puck. And right in the slot between the face-off dots, Ryan O'Reilly does a 180 and fires it home past Adin Hill, and Preds look to be ahead 2-1. And I say look to be ahead because we need a second look at that, apparently, according to Bruce Cassidy. The Vegas head coach wants to challenge for goalie interference. I was simulcasting it off of the Preds feed for audio. Had the TV muted on Scripps, which is the Vegas feed, so I don't know exactly what they were saying, if they said it should have counted or not. But honestly, my recollection of watching it live in the moment is I think, bias aside, it should have been a good goal. My prediction and feelings on goalie interference is it should sound like this. If you go into the crease and don't make an attempt to get out of the way of a goalie making a save, sure. Blow it dead, wave it off, fine. But Luke Evangelista was walked in like he was a dog into the Vegas crease. So it's not as if he had any time or any room to try and get out of the way. And it was barely a touch on Adin Hill. The goal should have counted. But with Toronto, who knows what is goalie interference and what is not. Game remains tied at 1. This is a pretty even game through the last 2 minutes or so of the second period. A few close calls there in the dying minutes of that middle frame. Vegas attacking well, but the Preds also defend well, and Annunen doesn't let anything get by him. Clock runs down. 40 minutes in the books. This game is tied at 1. To start the third period, that is when it was made official that Colton Sissons would not return to this game, forcing the Preds to play the rest of the game with 11 forwards. I know what the eager Beavers will say through the remaining 9 games is, let Matthew Wood play with the team. 2.5 minutes into the third, the Preds create some chances of their own. A 2-on-1 with Zachary Leroux and Cole Smith that Leroux keeps himself, but he can't beat Hill. Mark Stone, the Vegas captain, earns his team a power play on a wraparound attempt that Justin Barron prevents. And this is also crucial coming up here for the Preds if they want to play spoiler for Vegas. On that penalty kill, Cole Smith almost single-handedly puts the Preds ahead. He gets the puck out, he chases after it, gets down the ice with it with the Vegas defenders barreling down on him, and he's just able to get a backhand away that Hill prevents from going into the Vegas net. And fortunately, more times than not, if you have the 9th best penalty kill against the league's best power play, you know what's going to happen. Before that power play can expire, and it was laid into it, Riley Smith puts Vegas ahead up 2-1. About 9 minutes into the final frame, Annunen prevents Barbashev from putting this game out of reach for Vegas. Justin Barron trying to make up for the penalty he took on Mark Stone. He gets a partial break, and Hill prevents that scoring chance as well. And it's under 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Many of us in Preds Nation are like, yeah, it would be nice to score a tying goal and try to play spoiler, but please, secretly let them score an empty netter so we can get one step closer to a really solid draft pick and a chance at the #1 overall pick. Bruno would eventually pull Annunen for the extra attacker. It works to no avail. Howden buries it into the empty cage, and Vegas wins this game by a final of 3-1. So again, it's one of those games where the Preds were competitive against a much superior team. Yay! But in the end, they didn't snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and get themselves closer to the 12th, maybe 13th best odds going into the NHL draft lottery. No, they took the L like a champ and got themselves one step closer to a pretty good lottery position that will result in a pretty good prospect who could make the team out of camp next year. Back to back, the last of the season coming up Monday in Philadelphia and Tuesday in Columbus. Philly coming off of just firing towards have won 2 in a row, and Columbus is fighting like hell to try and scrape to get into the Eastern Conference playoff race. roll on, Tank, roll on. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media and interact with me during the remaining 9 games of the season by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. And, you know, every season, it's fun to scoreboard watch. But as compared to other seasons when the Preds are actually good, this year, when we look at other teams that affect the Preds in the standings, we want them to win games when the Preds lose, not lose games when the Preds win